Hey everybody, welcome to Jen Lowry Writes. Today is Friday, and I just wanted to jump on today and just say we made it through the week. Happy author world to everyone, and everything that you've got going on in your lives. Hats off to all of you who are balancing it and juggling all of the different hats that you wear while getting your writing in. And for those of you like me who might not have gotten a word in this week, that's okay too, because the weekend is coming. And how can we prioritize our time and get some writing in? So today I just kind of wanted to hang out, check everyone out over here on YouTube and on Twitch. I am dual streaming right now. And I wanted to talk about some things I have coming up for September. So, as an author, and I just had my book released, I have to continue to think and pray over Sweet Potato, think about Sweet Potato, um, make sure that I am continuing to put her out there, try to continue to make connections with people. I have a podcast coming up where I'm going to be featured on Tish Bouvier's podcast. Super excited about that. She is going to be the first to interview me about Sweet Potato Jones, and she's read it and says that she loves it. So that's really cool. For the month of September, I'll be sending out my newsletter soon. Planning on getting that out next week. So you guys, if you have not subscribed to get my newsletter, it's down below in the description, and you can fill out that quick Google form and it will help me to populate your email. Or you can go to my website at jenlowrywrites.com. I'm going to put it in a banner, and you guys can go to my website and you can sign up that way. I do use the GoDaddy platform with marketing, and so it does allow you to subscribe right there. And I am going to be holding some giveaways for Sweet Potato Jones, because that is our book club book of the month for September. Really excited. Like putting that on my calendar for September, because I want to actually read the physical copy. Like, it's in my hand. I'm hugging it. But I've only read it from the screen for so long that I have never kind of opened it up to get past chapter 1. So now that I have it, when I opened it, when I received it in the mail, I flipped and I showed the family, who my dedication page was and all that kind of good stuff. And I looked at the text formatting and I just flipped all through and looked at the beauty of Sweet Potato and just how just phenomenal it looks. But I've never sat down and actually read it from cover to cover. So I was like, okay, so for the Soul Food Book Club, it is named the Soul Food Restaurant in the book, and that's why it's called Soul Food Book Club. We have to spend time in Sweet Potato Jones together. So that's the book club coming up. It gives me an opportunity to make sure that I'm prioritizing my reading. So you guys know I'm reading multiple books at one time. So I'm actually reading Lord of the Rings, the book 1, Fellowship of the Ring. I'm on page 180, I think, in homeschool with that. I'm reading Romeo and Juliet at work. Then I'll be reading Sweet Potato. So I'm always having books around me throughout the day and night. And what better way than to experience the Soul Food Book Club with Sweet Potato? So that is going to be for September. And then I've been thinking about other things for September and what I really do need to focus on as an author. And my children's book is going to the editor on October the 1st. That means that I have 1 month to really just continue to go through it. I've had tons of beta reads. I love that my school teacher friends, my grandparents, people out there, retired school teachers, librarians, they've all had an opportunity to beta read for me. And so Felix is pretty much went through that cycle. And now I'm ready for the final look, the final setup. I already have a lot of the sketches done. And then I'll be moving with my editor October 1st. So for the month of September, I just really want to focus on the finalizing all of the sketches for that, because I want my editor to receive it in the form as if this was a publishable product. So I want all of the art, everything lined up in a Canva, in like my Canva document, and I'm going to download it as a workable document, so that way my editor would be able to have it and work through that. So I'm excited about Felix. And then I'm going to still continue to try to find ways to get some writing done, because I'm reading The Lord of the Rings and I have my middle grade fantasy, The Fae of the Averly, in a beta reader critique group. At the same time, it's over there cycling through a beta reader critique. And now I'm reading more into my fantasy world, because that's my genre that I'm writing or trying to focus on. I'm really thinking that for Nano, that's going to be my Nano project. So I'm thinking ahead and saying, what can that look like for me with the Nano? One of my friends was like, why don't you work on the Sunday Killer again, because you wrote it during the July Nano camp. Why not work that one? And I think it's going to be better for me if I work on a middle grades. And another reason is because I'm homeschooling, and after we read the Fellowship of the Ring, we're probably either going to continue with the series, or we'll pick another fantasy book, just because that's my son's favorite genre to read. So I'm more likely to be reading middle grade during this time than to be reading adult serial killer novels or thrillers. So if I'm trying to think about how can I prioritize my time, what is one way that I can handle my reading time and my writing time, and it all needs to match up, I really need to consider my homeschool time and utilize that also as a time for daily reading within the genre that I'm going to be currently working in. So I think it's going to be middle grades from at least for the next few months. That's just a good ease in for me. And for me, middle grades, that's one of my favorite places to read. I feel like I could also get through more books at a faster pace than heavier, longer adult novels. So it has to do with the time. And I know that I've got to start prioritizing it, because I haven't been able to write this week. I don't know about you guys, but this beginning of the school year stuff, it has been very, very, positive, yet challenging at the same time. And I'm having to overcome a lot of those types of challenges. And it's a lot of screen time, let's just be honest. And when it's 3 o'clock, I'm thinking downtime. I have to unplug. I have to relax. And it's hard if I'm wanting to write, because that's going to require me for more screen time. I'm not one, and I take notes all day long. I have my journal beside me at all times. I have another notebook beside me on this side, like I'm right here. But I'm not one to write my stories out by hand. Now, I have an author friend who writes all of her stories out by hand and then goes in and types them up. That's just not my style. I need the keyboard. I need to type. So there are days when I just want to just like close the screen, no more. And so I do need to find a balance. I am going to be working a little bit more on my poetry. I'm thinking that that's just I call that like an in and out exercise. Like I can jump into that. I can work on some daily writing. I can look through character perspective. I'm still living in Sweet Potato's world right now in my head. So you may start to see a little bit more poetry production from me. I am super in love with one of the last poems that I wrote. In fact, I can go and pull it up. And I post my poetry on my blog. So if you guys are not over following my blog, come on, what are you waiting on? And there it is. And so, yes, bringing content, bringing value, what does that kind of look like? It's different for every author. I know that I've got to go in and do a audit. We're going to be talking a little bit more about next steps from the writing conference tomorrow. So we are having a group WWJ meeting tomorrow. But I wanted to, so here's my blog, guys. I can pop it into the StreamYard chat. See if it'll hold it. Sometimes YouTube will actually cancel it out. Oh, it worked. Sometimes it'll say you're not allowed to add this link. And I'm like, oh. So I love looking at images sometimes for inspiration. And I was inspired by this covered bridge. And I imagined Sweet Potato like standing and looking through. And I called it the whale's mouth. And here's the poem. I daydreamt as a child that I'd walk in the covered bridge, consuming me whole, like a whale, and never return to this world, but step through the other side to a new path, clean air, fresh faces that smiled genuine to the very bones, instead of transparent lies through clear skin. But like Jonah, I was spit out again, forced to go to the known instead of the unknown, to cry out, yet no one saved me or heard me, or the pain of it still pierces deep. So why do I still hang this picture in my mind? Like I'm there, like I could go back, like I would even want to, when it's now concrete, no stars, no covered bridges to cover me. And so that one is from Sweet Potato's perspective, and I will be probably doing these pop in and out poetry pieces. And I just love it. I love it like so much. Another thing that I do want to focus back in on is working my podcast again. I do have some interviews coming up for September. So you are going to have some author interviews popping up. So yeah, September is not just about me being interviewed on a podcast about Sweet Potato Jones, but I'm going to be hosting another YA author. So you've got to check that out. I also have an adult read, a romance, and you guys know that I do write in multiple genres, and I have written adult romance in the past with Offbeat. It's really a new age romance. But I have another author coming on to discuss her romance that's going to be coming out soon. So just stay tuned for all of that. I'll be putting up promotional flyers. You'll get to see it on all my, you can follow me all out on social media and you'll be able to see like when things are popping up. So I do have those 2 interviews. I'm going to be very relaxed because one, I'm working full in the day and they're scheduled at 4:00. And as you can already see, this little tired face right here, it's going to be tired no matter what day of the week it is, Friday, Monday. So the interviews will be what they'll be. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to talking about AuthorCraft and their behind the scenes work. So the podcast will be popping back in again, and especially when I'll have to be on the road. So you guys know that as a traveler, here I am making podcasts daily. Now that I've been home, it's been more, I've been able to make YouTube videos and stream on Twitch. So it kind of has shifted a little bit. But I wanted to show you guys about podcasting. I can download these audio clips and then I'm able to upload them into my Anchor. So that way people can listen. They can go and watch on YouTube, watch on Twitch, and connect that way with me. So I will say that you will, follow the podcast too, because you will be seeing some of the episodes. And if you see it titled the same exact way, like today, I'm putting this one up just because I'm doing like this "What's up, Author World?" and "Where's September going?" kind of meeting with you guys. You also are holding me accountable, and I think that that's important as well. On tomorrow's WWJ meeting, I get to give a certificate to a dear friend of mine who needed that encouragement, that place to write down her goals and then receive a WWJ certificate. So I am super excited that she is going to be given that award tomorrow for finishing up her novel. Hooray, hooray. So we've I'm still meeting with the WWJs every Saturday morning. And then after that coaching session at 10 o'clock, we're going to have a YouTube stream about the Now What Next Steps. So in order to get ready for that, I wanted to create a handout for the Now What Next Steps, just so people could have a note-taking place where they would be able to maybe do something digitally. I was thinking about a copied Google Doc this time instead of doing a PDF. That way they could have a working document. So I'm going to create that for the video session tomorrow, and I will add to it as we go because it could be a work in progress too. We'll see. I can pull it up on the screen and people can use it as notes. Because that's kind of like what's going to be one of our working sessions. I still have to do some recommendation letters and some thank you notes, pulling out some of the survey results. So this week has just been super, super, hectic. And so just continue to pray for me and just pray for strength, pray for family, pray for health. And on the health side, I have been getting in daily walks. I have made it a priority to unplug and remove myself from the home and get outside fresh air. I have had to do that for me, and it's helping tremendously with me. So I just want to say, find things that can help you. If that's walking, if that's journaling, if that's setting goals, if it's having accountability partners, building beta groups, starting a newsletter and starting to reach out with your readers, YouTube, thinking of like doing the audit for social media. That's what I'm working on. Start blogging, start writing poetry and share that poetry out. All of the ways that, you can be productive in your author world and maybe not get the work, like the writing actual manuscript piece done. I'm just happy that I have my 4 books done for 2020, y'all. Like it's out there. And then I've got, Sweet Potato, my baby, that I've got to continue to work on. Oh my gosh, I got another review today. I was like tickled. I ran downstairs, showed my husband. I was like, oh my gosh, got to read it. Just super excited when I know that someone's out there actually reading Sweet Potato Jones. Like, what? It's like real. Still has not wrapped my head around that on 18th she came out and it's the 28th, and I'm still kind of like in the in shock moment. So just, pretty much been on here for about 20 minutes going over the kind of review, and I'm going to head off now, and I think I'm napping. Then I'm homeschooling at 4, so I need to have just a little bit of nap time, I think, in between there before to help me recharge, reset my batteries to be able to go for the rest of the day. So I will talk to you guys later, and happy Friday, everybody out there in the author world. And you can tell me what you're going to be up to with your author goals And if you're not like me with this whole September thing, I just did a September overview. You could do, hey, I'm just getting through today. Here's the goal for today. Here's the goal for the weekend. I would love to hear what your next steps are. And I hope that you guys can join us tomorrow on my YouTube channel. I'm going to have Pooja, Tish, and Michelle and myself. So there will be 4 WWJs talking on a panel tomorrow about now what next steps. Thanks to Sherry, one of the attendees, for reaching out to us on an email and asking us that very question, now what, in capital letters. So we're going to talk about, well, what happens after you watch that WWJ conference that you can still get if you go to the WWJ's YouTube. I'm so glad I set the link tree up. I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the chat. So glad I set that up. So you guys can go here and actually watch the entire WWJ's conference and then rewatch those really, really important ones, which is like all of them. And then you can join us for the now what, and then go back and forth. So I will talk with you guys more tomorrow. All right, bye.